Hey guys, welcome back to another video where I am connecting the dots in the numerology of what they are that particular year, specifically the 1 years, and what Chinese zodiac that is associated with, and the significant events that happen that are playing a part in what's going on in the world today. Now, if you have not seen my first video that I did with the Romanov family and what happened in Russia, go to my timeline and make sure you're checking that out. In this specific video, I connected the dots for another 1 year, and within that 1 year, it just happens to be a fire horse year as well. The Skole is now in session. Today, we're going to be talking about the year 1666. So when you add up that number, 1666, it's a 1 year. And it also happens to be the year of the fire horse. And why is this particular year significant of what we are seeing play out in the world? Let's dive into it. First, right off the bat, the Great Fire of London happened, okay? So why is that significant? Well, several different things had to happen to have this one particular thing to come into play, okay? The expansion of commercial law, contracts, and record keeping. What the fuck does that mean? Well, kiddos, this is where they started to keep track of the people. This is where they started to issue birth certificates, okay? And if you don't know the truth about birth certificates, that's really your entrapment into slavery. This is where we are viewed as property instead of human beings, okay? So for this to come into play, they needed to start all of this to happen, okay? So how are you going to start keeping record of a bunch of people, okay, that you don't know anything about? You haven't kept a record of them up until this point. So we want to make this clean and probably also destroy evidence in the process. So here we go. You have the Great Fire of London, all right? That's also followed by the Great Plague, which we know was also controlled opposition. They did this for a reason, okay? You had the Second Anglo-Dutch War that, drained England's finances, okay? Birth certificates are where they can actually start to collect more taxes. I could do a whole separate video on what birth certificates and social security cards do as well. However, this is the start of their plan on what to do. They need to collect more money for England. This is where Isaac Newton's wonder, the gravity came about, all this other stuff, and some other things. But it's very important that we pay attention to these events because we can see that happening, rolling out here in the United States. So here we see in the second page, this is where Royal Society strengthened modern science. This is where they started to implant their ideas, whatever your theory is. Trust the science, okay, has been a motto that they have put out in the collective for quite some time. And as we can see, we're not trusting all those scientists that are giving us the science. And I honestly feel that Isaac Newton was one that was compromised as well. But here we go. England under Charles II consolidated power after the Civil War. If you go into the English history, it does play a part in what happened here in the United States and how they formed it. But this is the major thing that came into play, okay? This expansion of commercial law, contracts, and record keeping. Why am I bringing this to your attention? Well, it's important that we keep this in mind because this is how they have been able to enslave humanity. All right. So when we dive deeper into how they control the people here in the United States and everything like that, which is a completely separate video, they use these significant years, these events, okay, numerology, year of the one, to implant new ideas, to implant new structures, to implant new control systems, and they also do it simultaneously through destruction, through events, through burning things down, covering evidence. They did this with the Russian Tsar. They had to execute that family line. They had to exterminate them. That's exactly what they did, so that they can start inserting the agendas that they want. Because at the end of the day, everything that I have gone through historically, it's always the little people that get fucked. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm going to be I have more downloads coming in, and God is definitely guiding me to bring this attention to you. We as a collective need to be mindful of what they have in play and what is going on, and take some personal responsibility for how it is that we helped them create the reality that we are currently living in. And what I mean by that is recognizing where they are implanting black magic spells to keep the collective asleep, for one, and two, how we can choose a different direction. Now, again, I am noticing through my historical deep dives, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jen. I'm headmistress at Rise University, and one of my passions is doing a deep dive in history. And so I'm also very intuitive, and I love diving into astrology, numerology, and so forth. So what I do see currently happening right now is that everyone is very excited that we are entering into a horse year, a fire year, okay? And they feel like all this revolution is going to be happening, but we need to be mindful that it's not a controlled revolution, okay? How you can spot the difference is that what the media is saying, because all media stations right now are hijacked, okay? Majority of the people out there who are putting information about truth that have high follower accounts are hijacked, all right? If there's a narrative being pushed out, it is hijacked, okay? It is a black magic spell to get you to siphon your free will. Okay, well, they manipulate you to giving away your free will, and then they siphon your energy. This is why we're not seeing any protests, because it's not a paid protest for what we really need to stand up for as a society and people here in America. So God really is showing me their actual playbook, and that is my mission, to kind of share that with you, what's going through me, what I'm seeing, and the pattern recognition that I am finding. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow. You know the drill. I should not have to tell you guys, but some of y'all are still under the black magic spell, so we need to be told what to do. My mission here is to help you wake up from that spell. That is my core mission, and I do that by being a divergent in the matrix, a glitch in the system, and showing you the playbook that they use over and 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 over again, apparently. And it does follow the different years through numerology. So with that said, much love. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share, drop a comment. I'd love to see you guys' insights. What do you recognize? And also some feedback. Until next time, bye now.